Why employers hate
comment
Gen
section.
Z?
I'm Brett Cooper. So I don't think this comes as a surprise to anyone, but my generation, man, we are struggling. Now, I come to bat for Gen Z a lot of the time, but on a whole, Gen Z has just been set up for failure, and, you know, if there is a sink or a swim option,
Gen Z
we are
was set up for
definitely
failure.
sinking, the majority
For
of Gen
sure.
Z.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And like I said, some
Yep.
of this is self-imposed from Gen Z, but a lot of Gen Z's issues stem from false promises and unrealistic expectations from society and the people that they were told
Yep.
to look up to, like
Yep.
their parents and
Dude,
professors,
this woman
etc.
is-
They were told that a
she's
six-figure
throwing
job
out
is
facts
normal
right
and
now.
right after you graduate college, that everyone these days buys houses, you know, go into debt for your degree because you'll never get a good job without it. Newsflash, a lot of that is not true. So alas, Gen Z is coming out of the college fog and realizing that life is not all it was cracked up to be. And specifically, we need to talk about a girl on Instagram who is documenting her journey to find a job. Literally any job. Before we dive into this though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have
Okay,
not
this
already,
might be
and ring that
interesting. I thought
notification
this
bell
was
so
gonna
that
be
you never miss
boring,
a comment
but
section episode
this
or
might
one
be
of our Friday
interesting.
live streams. All right, so my friend sent me this video a couple of days ago and just said, "What the heck, Gen Z?" which is probably the best way to put what we are about to watch.
Okay.
So buckle up, because not only is this funny, it is just a reality for a lot of people my age.
This is the most humbled I've ever felt in my life. I'm literally holding resumes, a stack of them, so that I can go in person to places and say, are you guys hiring? It's honestly a little bit embarrassing because
It's not embarrassing at all. I did this. I did it. I literally went into like AT&T's, T-Mobile's. I went into stores. I went everywhere, and I gave them my resume. In fact, I'm going to do it again to another place. Not embarrassing. It's what you have to do, lady.
I'm literally applying for like minimum wage jobs, and some of them are being like, we're not hiring, and it's like, what? This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages.
Okay, just remember that.
I just want to be a TikToker if I'm being so for real with you.
Not everyone can be a TikToker. And you graduated with acting? Now, speaking 3 languages is pretty dope, but you went into acting. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
But I can't be delusional anymore. Like, I literally need to make money. So
She's crying. What a
I'm
baby.
just gonna keep trying.
So obviously we can laugh at this, and there are a lot of people online that are laughing at her
I'm not
plight.
laughing,
And it
I'm
does crack
sad.
me up
It
that
depresses
dropping
me.
off resumes
That's depressing.
in person has become such a foreign concept to young people, and that it's humbling and it's embarrassing to have to go do that, because that is literally how my brothers and I used to get jobs, and I think people still
how I got-
drop
that's-
off their resumes.
that's
and
still
that is
what I
how
do.
normal people get jobs. But also,
Why
this
wouldn't
is
you?
heartbreaking, because this girl was obviously lied to. I mean, you heard her say it, like, this is not what I expected. This isn't what I
Yeah,
thought
I
would
was
happen. I have 2
heartbroken.
degrees. I speak 3 languages. Obviously, in her mind, this is not how her
I
adult
was
life was
heartbroken.
supposed to play out. People told her that her acting and communications degrees would set her up, that there were limitless jobs available to her, like
That's not how it
amazing, go
works.
pursue your dreams. But that is simply not the
Unfortunately,
case. I mean, communications
you can't live like
is one of the
this.
top 10 most popular degrees in the US. Everyone and their mother is applying for those same higher paying corporate cushy jobs in media that she probably wants. And acting as a degree, I don't even have to get into that. We don't even need to talk about it, because that was just doomed from the beginning. Which is
Yeah.
why she's having to walk around and drop off her resume
It
in
was.
person at other places for minimum wage jobs. Somebody commented and said, "Welcome to the real world, have a seat." Another person said, "You had me until communications and acting." I mean, true. I mean, the girl speaks 3 languages. She is obviously smart. I wish she had had the common sense to maybe see that those degrees were not worth getting. But again, I can't be too angry, because we
Oh,
have lied
hold on.
to these young people. We
Hold
told
on.
them that this is the right
I gotta give another person a follow. Oh wait, no, this is not the right person. Never mind. I thought it was someone else streaming.
path. They have been following what the experts have been telling them to do, and now they're paying the price. Somebody else said education in America is a scam. Yeah, that's the
Thought it was someone
understatement of the century. Another person said, "No
Education
one
is a
prepared us
scam.
for our 20s being this hard."
Let's
I'm
be
in the
honest
same boat,
here.
girly. And they are certainly not alone. Now, guys, I had not seen this article, but as I was doing research for this episode, I saw it. I'm so glad, because it ties in perfectly. Washington Post, back in November, published this article. New college grads are more likely to be unemployed in today's job market. The unemployment rate for recent college graduates is higher than for the general population in an unusual shift. And I just want to go through and read some of this with you guys, because I feel like some of it will resonate with some of you guys. It'll hopefully make you feel less alone. Maybe it'll help empower some of you guys who are trying to make decisions about your future if you're graduating high school. So let's get into it. So Washington Post writes, despite a surprisingly robust job market, recent college graduates have been having a harder time finding work than the rest of the population since the pandemic. This marks a sharp reversal from long-held norms when a newly minted college degree all but guaranteed a better shot at employment. Since 1990, the unemployment rate for recent graduates has always been lower than for the general population. And obviously, if we have learned anything from all the times that I have talked about this issue, it's that Gen Z and younger millennials, they are paying the price. Like, it is impacting a huge portion of our population. If you're struggling with collections, medical bills, credit cards, or personal loans, you need to check out PDS Debt. PDS Debt is an innovative one-stop shop to guide you on your journey to financial money right now.
I'm not watching her ad.
Required. They pay off your debt in a fraction of so easy. Investment today. For this episode, if you are feeling seen or you're struggling right now with anything we're talking about in this episode, go check them out because they can help. All right, so back to the article, but that changed after COVID. New grads have consistently fared worse than other job seekers since January of 2021, and that gap has only widened in recent months. The latest unemployment rate for recent graduates at 4.4% is higher than the overall joblessness rate and nearly double the rate for all workers with a college degree, according to analysis from the Federal Bank Reserve of New York. So literally, this girl is not alone. Recent college grads are unemployed. So if you are in your mid-20s and you are sitting here and you're going, Brett, why can't I find a job? I am like one of these people. I did everything right. You are not alone. It is a harsh thing to say, but they set our generation up for failure.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And the cushy jobs that were promised to them aren't hiring Gen Z because, number one, they don't have real-world experience. We literally talked about that the other day. Gen Z, on a whole, has not really had jobs before they enter into the post-grad market. And then number two, the economy sucks. Everybody knows that. So those tech, media, corporate industries that everybody wants jobs in, they're struggling too. So they really aren't hiring a lot. The future is uncertain. And when
no
these
one
companies
wants to give anyone jobs, and no one wants to pay people.
They're going to hire somebody who is older and has experience in the industry, or at least has some type of real-world experience, which, oh my God, is why internships during college is so important when you are a young adult. I mean, like, I don't care if you are not getting paid, if you are making $10 an hour. Make the sacrifice and carve out the time to get a freaking internship. Like, drop those other extracurriculars. You don't need to be in Greek life. Like, seriously, it is so important. And I know that hearing that isn't fun, and it sucks because it's like I want to be able to enjoy my time. But
I didn't
this
do an
is the
internship
reality
when I got jobs.
that we live in. This is just the circumstances for young adults, and so you do have to adapt. And honestly, I had more fun doing my internships. I learned more than I did sitting in classrooms. I had more fun than when I was in a sorority because I actually loved what I was doing. I guarantee that getting an internship and working is more important, and it will set you up. And it's infuriating that colleges these days don't push young people to actually get internships. Like, I have friends that didn't do internships throughout college. They didn't work. They just did all of the, university extracurriculars, and they're struggling with this right now. They don't have anything outside of college things on their resumes. They don't know how to take interviews because obviously their $200,000 degree didn't teach them that important skill. Like, it's horrible. That's horrible. But also, they're not alone either. Here's another article we need to talk about. Gen Z struggles with job interviews. Can we really blame them? Managers say younger job applicants are floundering. Are they slacking off or resistant to a flawed system? And then they said, New York Post reports that a recent survey of 800 U.S. managers, directors, and executives who are involved in hiring found that Gen Z candidates are failing interviews. 1 in 5 employers reported that recent college graduates come underprepared. Issues with making eye contact, dressing for the job, and asking for unrealistic salaries topped the list of complaints. Nearly 40% of respondents said that they were more likely to hire an older candidate due to Gen Z's behavior in interviews. But I mean, again, not surprising. We talked about it last week. We can link that episode below, but Gen Z has never had minimum wage high school jobs or college jobs, and their colleges have not given them any practical hard or soft skills that will translate into real world jobs, and they haven't done internships. Like, so many of my peers have literally been set up for failure. It's awful. And they've spent
that's why no one has jobs.
They're in debt because
why
of
would
this.
why would you give someone like a Gen Z a job when they've never worked a day in their life?
Tied into what we're talking about. Okay, back to Washington Post.
And they're being
recent grad
entitled.
said, quote, I always just expected that you'd go to school, you get your degree, and you end up working some sort of office job that pays enough to live on. That's the way it worked for my dad and my brother, who's 10 years older than me. But that doesn't seem possible anymore. I mean, things have seriously changed so fast, but the messaging hasn't. Like, people have watched as all of this is changing, as it's unfolding, but we're still telling young people, you have to go get a 4-year degree. You have to go into debt. You have to go do this. It's the only way to be successful. You can't not go to college. Oh my God, that's so scary. Look at the statistics. Look at what is happening to young people. We need to change the messaging. Another person in the article said, the labor market is tougher if you're a recent grad. But this really is a story about how the job market has been really good for people without a degree. There are other dynamics at play too. Recent graduates who spent months, if not years, learning virtually during the pandemic are increasingly looking for hybrid and remote work arrangements, which means competing with a large swath of applicants around the country. They're also losing out to newly laid off tech and media workers with real-world experience. Like, guys, if there was ever a time to consider not going to college or just putting off college for a bit, unless you need a degree for your specific line of work, that time is right now. Like, get a certificate instead. Start a business. Get an associate's degree if you want one. Go into a trade, anything else. Because things are not going to change overnight. It sucks, but this is the reality. And if you want to succeed, you have to look at the reality and figure out how you're
but you're not
going
to get paid as much.
There's a whole
so
set
no one wants
of my
to do
generation
that.
that feels absolutely screwed and does not know what to do. And I don't want you guys to follow the same situation. Last paragraph,
I wouldn't want to do that.
That souring outlook is fueling broader discontent among young Americans who are disproportionately focused on economic issues such as jobs, taxes, and the cost of living. A stunning 93% of young adults in battleground states said that the economy was fair or poor, compared with 81% of the overall population, the poll showed. Meanwhile, less than 1% of adults between the ages of 18 and 29 rated the economy as excellent, the lowest of any age group. No shit.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not good. But how do we turn that into votes? Because voting has consequences. We are feeling the consequences of how my generation voted in 2020. Like, my generation is smart enough to know that the economy is struggling. They are facing that reality. It's right in front of their faces. But do you think it's bad enough for them to give up the derangement syndrome and actually vote for Trump over Biden? I can't say. I would love to look at these numbers and go, wow, this is a slam dunk. Like, Gen Z is going to turn it around. They're waking up. But honestly, I don't know. Because common sense is
doesn't
really
apply
lacking in this generation. But what you and all of us can do right now
Dude,
is help encourage
awesome.
people to take non-traditional paths.
I've never
encourage
seen her
young people
before.
to get jobs young, where they learn responsibility and important social and communication skills that obviously a large portion of our generation has not learned. And we also need to erase the stigma around not having a corporate, cushy job in media or tech. Because I'm sorry, but that might not be the future. Guys, I'm jumping in for an update right now because I was just talking to my entire team, and as of recently, like their last few jobs, they still drop off resumes in person. This is why they're the best, because they realize that that makes you stand out. That going in and looking somebody in the eye and saying, hey, I know you have a job open, I applied online, here's my resume, I'd love to talk to somebody, like, that is not weird. That should not be humbling. That is still a very good thing to do. It is still very normal. Well, guys, I hope you liked that video.
Okay.